Let's get it. Praise the Most High. It is another fine day here in the Carolinas, and I'm so glad to see it. It's a great day already. I already went out and had a successful job, and heading home to take a break to then follow up on my evening job or afternoon job. Praise the Most High. I was just thinking about being able to get out and work and how freeing it is to be able to get up and go on your own time, on your own schedule, doing basically what you want to do. And you can say love, because I love putting stuff together and seeing the complete work or the completed work. Praise the Most High, and that's how our Father is. He plans things from the end to the beginning. So you know it's perfect, which means he's covering all his bases. As we said before in a prior recording, that he's sitting on top of things. He's the highest, which means he sits high and looks low on everything and all the works of men, judging to see who has faith, or seeking to and fro to see who has faith amongst the land of the living, amongst men. And Yahushua said a few times that there was great faith in the people that believed in him. He marveled at their faith. See, that's what I want out of my life. I want the Most High to be able to marvel at my faith. Say, that boy there got some powerful faith, and I appreciate it. But we're going to touch back on this idea, Most High willing, that we had in the prior recording about have no fellowship with the works of darkness. No, let's get that right. And that's out of Ephesians 5:11-13. And it says, and have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. For it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret. But all things that are reproved are made manifest by the light, which is truth, understanding, knowledge, wisdom. Made manifest by that light, for whatsoever doeth make manifest is light. For whatsoever does make manifest is light. And we didn't get over, this is what I want to get on today with our second script, the one we didn't get to in the prior recording. And it is 1 Peter 5:8, and it says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, Hasatan, as a roaring lion, walks about seeking whom he may devour. And we do know that Hasatan has kinfolk. Oh boy, he has children. Just like it says in the text, they're of the synagogue of Hasatan. And as Yahushua said, you're of your father Hasatan. So we do know that just as the Most High has children and followers, that Hasatan has children also and followers. Those that are born of him, physically, literally. Yes, spiritually, but also physically. See, everything the Most High has done, Hasatan tries, like I say, tries to copy it. But we're to be vigilant, as the text says, and sober-minded. See, this text here, it don't mean always not being drunk. But it means to be sober. Just like when you wake up in the morning, you're not sober-minded. You're still groggy, still a little cloudy in the head, and you need to wake up And the text we've been going over for the last few weeks, probably a month or so, from this other teacher that I heard, he has been saying we really need to get off the idea of being woke, because everybody's being woke today, or everybody is using that idea of wokeness. But the script we should keep in mind is in Baruch. Let's see if I have it on deck. And let me find it. And we was just speaking on in the prior recording about how folks use our books against us, the Holy Scripts, rewrote them, and a lot of it, they took a lot of it out. Not only in the slavery days, but when they took out all the books. Just like this script here we're going to look at. And you can hear and see why they took it out when we read the complete script. And that's Baruch 2:30 through 35. It says, "For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves." And see, that's the text we want to emphasize. Remember ourselves. And that's what he's causing us to do. Yes, we're being awakened, but still, the best way to look at it is that we're remembering ourselves. And 31 says, "And shall know that I am the Most High their Elohim, for I will give them a heart and ears to hear, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds. For they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Most High." Now, how are we going to remember the ways of our fathers? And why are we going to be praising the Most High in the lands of our captivities? Because we're starting to see that without him we would not be. We're starting to see that, just as our text for today is saying, being vigilant and sober-minded, because we have an adversary. And what we're seeing, family, and I know you're asking, well, what are we seeing, Robert? What do we see? We see how our enemies have tried to dispose of us, have tried to kill, steal, and destroy us, which they had. They got the better hand on us, as the Most High said they would, under his not only rule, but under his direction. And he says in the text that they took it too far. He said, "I was just a little upset with my children, but these jokers took it too far, and I'm gonna punish them harshly." But back to what we see. We see that they want us to put stuff in our bodies so they can switch up our DNA, so we won't even have a mind to remember the Most High. We can't even see it, as the text says. We don't even have a heart to perceive it, or ears to hear. When people are bashing you in the head with the truth almost daily, you hear something about the Hebrews, you hear something about the Israelites, you hear something about us being the Most High's chosen people. And why is this? Because the Most High is consistently giving us opportunity to wake up, to remember ourselves. We start seeing that holy doesn't mean I believe, so I'm saved. Holiness means set apart and putting in some work, because the text says faith without works is dead. So what are you putting up? Dead works, or works that's bringing life? And see, that's the whole point. Are you bringing life today, or are you bringing death to not only yourself but to your people? And we see how our young black men are getting shot and killed in the streets, and our young black women. These jokers don't discriminate. as far as who they're willing to beat down and kill, shoot. Pardon me. And the text says that they will have no regard for children or women or old folk. They don't have no regard, no feelings towards nobody. But it's all about their agenda. Hallelujah. And 32 says, well, let's do 31 again. And shall know that I am the Most High, their Elohim. For I will give them a heart and ears to hear, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck, and from their wicked evil, well, their wicked deeds. For they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before me, the Most High. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. And see, that's what we was talking about before, what we're seeing, what's causing us to remember the Most High, because we're not diminished. We see how they try to kill us on every level and control us on every level. See, but no matter what the goings on is, the Most High is our Savior. He's our Redeemer. Just as the text here says, He's the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And see, whenever he mentioned that, them guys' names, our ancestors' names, our forefathers' names, he wants us to have a remembrance of what he promised them guys. What he, just as it said, he made an oath with them. And we have to remember that oath. And live by it. Praise the Most High. But the whole point is having no fellowship with the works of darkness, with the unfruitful works of darkness. And we are starting to open our eyes and see what the works of darkness is on the major level. And it is religion. It's religion. See, all the religions of the world were taken from our relationship with our Elohim. They've taken bits and pieces of the truth and how to serve the Most High and serve their own idols and their own gods and themselves, more importantly. And their pride, their arrogance, their goal to rule the world, to be God themselves. And see, we just spoke on their downfall. This pride, this arrogance, this me mentality, this I disease, this me, and this I disease and mentality. And wanting to be worshipped. See, they have the same dis-ease or itching they need to scratch as their Abba does, their father, Hasatan, who himself said, I will make my throne higher than the Most High. I will sit above the stars, which are the 12 tribes of Yasharel. I will sit above them. I will rule over them. See, he didn't want to bow down to Yahusha and his people after he tricked them. So he said Yahusha's heel will bruise his head. That means Yahusha putting his foot on his neck and head and taking back what he stole from the Most High's people. But we must be in subjection to the Most High in order to keep a sober mind. See, this sober mind comes from listening to and following the Ruach HaKodesh all day, every day, which he leads us into all truth. Praise the Most High. But it's all about having no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. And see, you gotta have a sober mind before you try to reprove anybody. I heard a fellow speaking on this yesterday, this idea of the terrible doctrines out there concerning us brews. Not only do we have to contend with all these other religions, and I called it out yesterday, Christianity, the Eurocentric Christianity movement, or as one teacher called the false Christianity. And I get it, we all was raised up in Christianity, and we kind of have ties, deep-rooted ties to it. But we have to realize that's not who we are. We're people of the book. We're the people of the book. We're the people of the way. And what is the way, Robert? Torah. And as I was just saying, you hear a whole lot of people on both sides speaking on different doctrines. Like I said, religion and brews with their false doctrine. And a lot of them are agents also. So you got to realize there's a lot of agents in this world. Or should we say there's a lot of agents under contract. And I saw a movie last evening, The Gray Man. Good, exciting movie. But it was showing how you already have a messed up, dirty system, government, however you want to look at it. But then you have agents that's working for themselves against a dirty government. Like one lady said, she said that this guy, he had an agenda. She said, we're trying to follow the rules. You're trying to break all the rules. He said, y'all already breaking the rules. The rules and the standards y'all stand by, or you say you're trying to follow, are already, what's the word? And I'm saying this out of my own ideas. But the fellow that was working for the pardon me, the shadow government, he was telling the lady that was a good agent that the rules she stood by were corrupted already, and that they break the rules that they say they keep, but they break them every day. But that's how it is in our community. We have people that's under contract. Oh boy, that's under contract to put out false information. See, just as another moray I heard say, they have our book. They've had our book forever since it was written, and they've used it against us. So they'll put out false information concerning their judgment. Just as we said, they took out Baruch and a whole host of other books of the holy text. Why? Because it points to them. It points to them. See, this is what they do not want to hear. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. Excuse me. See, the nations of the world know once we get back in our land, it's over. They know it's over, because wherever we go, we build that land, that nation up. They have used our people all over this earth to build up their empires, build up their nations. See, the Most High knew this. He said, I'm going to scatter you to every nation in the earth, to the four corners of the earth. And he knows where we go, we build it up. But he also knows when we build it up, he's gonna pay us for that building. He's gonna cause us to reap what we sow. So the work we put in, we're gonna get out what we deserve. Praise the Most High. Praise the Most High. Yeah, see, they don't want to hear about that I will increase them and they will not be diminished. And we will be lords of that land. Oh boy. See, they want us to be the lords of our lands, which he gave us dominion of the whole earth as it is. But we know where all the resources are in Africa. And that's where he's gonna send us back to. Praise the Most High. I'm gonna let that be my time, family. But the idea today is be sober-minded. Let's read that again. Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. And that's Ephesians 5 and 11. But 1 Peter 5 and 8 says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, Hasatan, as a roaring lion, walks about seeking whom he may devour. As a roaring lion, or like a roaring lion. Just like we hear this word Jewish. Oh boy. Ish means somewhat like. And see, the text says in Revelations 2 and 9 and 3 and 9 that there are those that call themselves Jews, but they are not. They are from the synagogue of Satan. Now, why would Yahushua say this all the way at the end of the book? Why would he bring this up at the end of the book? And the revelation of Yahushua. Because he knew in the end of their reign, or the end of their rule, we were going to need to identify them. And see, all these other books that they removed from the holy text identifies them clearly. That's why they removed them. But see, Hasatan and his imps and his children are so ignorant that they so, what's the word? They so drunk in their desire to rule over us, using our book against us, that it left too much information. Just like with our boy Nat Turner, the Baruch showed him all truth. See, them old evil devils tried to manipulate our people back then with that slave Bible. But Nat Turner had the Ruach HaKodesh with him. And he was spitting that truth in them devil's faces. And they hated it. And they hated him. And he ended up getting at a lot of them. But as the text also says, no one will be able to save you but Yahushua. No one will redeem you. The text says no one will buy you back. Oh boy, that land been there for a while. They opening it up. Clearing out more woods. Yes, indeed. Yeah, that sober-mindedness is thinking correctly. See, we can have we could be sober physically, but have a drunk mind. Like we said before, like when you wake up. And a lot of us are still asleep. I heard a Morey teaching last evening about being patient with our people. Because everybody don't wake up at the same time. Even though the alarm clock is going off, everybody don't hear it at the same time. Like I say, everybody don't wake up at the same time. Even though the alarm clock is blazing. Some people is just that drunk. Praise the Most High. Off. Hassatan's wine. Just as the text says, that old hoe is offering that wine to the nations. Mystery Babylon, and there's no mystery. And see, as I've heard a teacher who schooled me on this, Amore, who's saying, until you realize who the Most High's chosen people are, you're not going to understand the Holy Text. But see, when your enemy understands who you are and you don't, they're using the Holy Text against you. They're taking out certain parts, certain books, they take out which point straight to them, which that word is true. You can't cover up truth once it's put out there. See, just like we were speaking on Nate Turner. See, the Ruach HaKodesh is going to lead us into all truth. And see, the thing about it is, the Most High put that truth in the scripts so well that even though old Hasatan and his imps had our books, they still couldn't write it or rewrite it. Or hide it from his people. Us, his people. Because the Most High has a way of giving us what we need when we need it. That light we spoke about. And see, what is light? it exposes darkness. It runs darkness away. Praise the Most High. We done talked up into 30 minutes. Praise the Most High, family. I love y'all so much and appreciate you. And I thank the Most High for the mores and teachers that's out here teaching Yasharel. Of course, by the leading of the Ruach HaKodesh. Family, stay up and keep pushing forward in the right direction. Shalom.